Okay, Upset's tweet. Let's go. There's a reason I do not want to share my personal things, especially from the people closest to me that I love with the public. Me sharing information with people from the team that I cannot trust at a deep level who can turn against me and share my personal life with the people who want the worst for me and my family is something I never want to do. I shared the situation with Yamato and I intended to do the same with Hillsong because those were the people I felt I had a genuine trusting relationship with that would not use my weakness and vulnerability to create a situation that could be even more hurtful in such difficult times. I don't want to have to expose anyone close to me to people saying terrible things about things that happen in the private life of my family because I know how fast people in this industry can spread such information. There will always be people online that will try anything to hurt you and the people around me. It is my utmost priority to keep that from happening as much as I can. I believe everyone has a right to privacy and I could not tell people I don't fully trust what the situation is. Hilly knew me very well enough as a person and how much I care about competing that he did not even want to know anything, and I know people like Yamato and Hilly are friends for life. Regarding people writing things about my wife has been by far the most sad and hurtful part for me and her in this. She would never ask me to leave Worlds and she has been nothing but supportive. People attacking her based on assumptions when they do not have any insight are really the worst and do not think for a second there is a real human and that what you are doing is just very hurtful and disgusting. This is such a poorly written post, but we're going to keep going. I understand that not being open with the private life of me and my loved ones could lead to mistrust, and I would understand if people would not want to play with me, but purposefully assuming things with bad intentions is really the lowest of the lows. I will restrain myself from talking about my experience working with Adam, but I am honestly shocked he would send this much hate and abuse towards the direction of my wife without knowing anything because of his personal frustrations. Saying the last thing I told my team that my wife is just feeling bad, so I need to leave is an outright lie. I shared with the team the deep pain and sadness I was going through in this time. I shared that I wish I could tell them if it was something that happened to me, but that I had to keep private traumatic events from my family private because it is difficult enough to deal with the hardship life brings. There is no need to have the most toxic environment of social media and the people that hate you most target you with exactly these painful hardships. I have a right to privacy and especially I have to protect the privacy of the people closest to me, even if that could mean that someone would not want to play with me or an organization would choose not to work with me. I work extremely hard and people around me know how much I care about this, so assuming petty reasons once again from someone inside the team, not talking to me directly about it and now acting like everything was okay when we talked and saying something like this is just shocking and disappointing to say the least. Imagine the terrible things that could happen to you or in the life of your loved ones. Would you like to read about it in Twitch chat or get messages on social media making fun of you with bad intentions? And I also expressed feeling sorry leaving the team in the event, especially not being able to share, but how can I trust the people that I do not have a very close personal relationship with not to spread information if I share everything that happened during this time? God fucking damn, this was a very run-on post. On a completely different note, Alfari asked to speak with me after initiating talks with Fnatic, due to our history as teammates and friends, which of course is a natural progression for any player looking to join any organization. Fnatic management take the decisions for what players to sign, and I was simply asked to give feedback on someone and to speak with them. That's why I said this was a fucking straw man in Adam's post. I thought Adam's post was entertaining, but I did notice there was a lot, when I was reading it, there was a lot of things that should have been left out and that simply have nothing to do with his main point. The fact that in his post he's saying that Fnatic was looking for Perks and Alfari, and then he talked to Upset and he's saying, like, the way he phrased it is like Upset was trying to get Alfari behind my back, of course, and it's like, bro, the organization was trying to get Alfari. The fact that Upset agrees with it and is doing it behind your back, it's not uncommon in esports for if you're getting replaced for that to be behind your back, right? Like you're every offseason, I know he's very young, but this is unfortunately the like immoral and ruthless part of competitive business. You need to look out for your best interest in the offseason. No spot is ever guaranteed. Even when I was playing incredibly, I was, you know, always keeping my eyes and ears open and looking out for my best interest in the offseason because anything can happen. So I didn't really like that part of Adam's post either. And I just want to point out that I think that like Upset addressing this is almost like a waste because I don't really think that's really why Adam thinks Upset's the bad guy. To no one's shock, I want to be surrounded by players that I believe will make the best team. Yep. I have been as transparent as I can with my teammates in this postseason. I'm sure maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle in there, but I think it's totally reasonable on both sides. I feel very emotional with all this, and I understand his frustrations very well. But how should I trust people with the most personal things if I do not have a close relationship to them and the trust is not there? Just because we are teammates does not mean I can trust you with the life of my loved ones if you show me zero reason to believe so. And with all this, I think the point is very clear. I am sure there are a lot of things to add, but I just wanted to share with the hope that less people are using this situation to do hurtful things and understand my point of view and how everyone has a right to privacy and should not be judged so harshly based on pure bad intention speculations, which he admits are just speculations. Also, him saying he does not give a shit about my privacy because he worked hard is another great reason why I would never want to share something which occurred. Okay, so I think this is the message of his TwitLonger is I actually can empathize with his reasoning. He could have gotten to the point and kind of just let it stick, but it did kind of go in circles a bit here and there. But his overall point, I will agree with. Something absolutely terrible, right? Like imagine some of the worst shit possible. You would not want to be reminded of that publicly. You would not want your family to be potentially harassed and like re-traumatized. That is completely understandable from his perspective, and I think it's also understandable from Adam's perspective. That was not really communicated to him as to why he couldn't, like in Adam's post, his perspective on the whole thing is that it's a trivial reason. It's like a no reason whatsoever for Upset to leave, and there's no wrong answer here. But I do have the opinion, and I said this before when I read Adam's thing, that as teammates, you deserve at least a vague explanation. So let's say, for example, that some of these points that Upset brought up now, he was able to articulate to his team, hey guys, I can't tell you what it is. And the reason why is because I don't really know you guys super well, and the trust isn't really there. And this is something that could like be really deeply hurtful to me and my family if I was to share it with you. But I just want you to, like, obviously the trust is not really there, but I would like you to at least give me the benefit of the doubt that I wouldn't leave for a no reason whatsoever situation. Like my girlfriend misses me. I would like you to believe that, you know, this is something really terrible did just happen to someone that I love, and you know, I don't want a chance for any of this stuff to spread to anybody. And this is just a trust thing, so I can't share it with you. And if he did say something like that to Adam, and Adam still made that post, and Adam is a douche. But I don't think that's what happened, and I don't think any of that stuff actually got cleared up. So this is really just a case of something terrible could have happened to Upset, and he could be getting attacked and getting, you know, so much hate and memes and just a terrible situation happening to Upset. He didn't do a good job communicating that to his teammates. And if he did communicate this stuff to Adam, then Adam is honestly very fucking disrespectful for doing this TwitLonger. I think maybe there's some world where it's in the middle, where it's like maybe he tried to explain how serious this was and that it wasn't for a trivial reason. I'm not really sure. Like, this is all speculation. We're only on the outside here. We only have information from these two people to work with. I think he makes a very solid point here, right? People are making assumptions that it's nothing, and this is really just about whether or not you believe that Upset wouldn't have left for fucking being down bad or whatever it is, his girlfriend being lonely versus just he can't share the info. Anyways, I guess the last thing that I want to point out is I don't think it's necessarily wrong for someone to feel scorned because they felt like their whole year was spent working up to this thing and they couldn't get a good reason as to, and like I said, that good reason could be just like I said. Upset doesn't have to share what happened. He just has to share sort of the situation. Something did happen. I can't tell you guys. I guess on one side, like, you could maybe see a world where Adam is justified in feeling really frustrated with that situation where he didn't feel like he got any closure about, he doesn't need to know the reason why, he just needs to know that there is a reason. There's also a world where everyone realizes that there are no hard feelings and there is the trust there, but it seems based on Upset's post, the trust really isn't there. It goes both ways. He doesn't trust them, particularly Adam, and Adam doesn't trust him, and so they're kind of assuming the worst about each other based on these TwitLongers. Yeah, exactly. You just want to know the gravity of the situation. That's a great way to put it. I mean, you don't need to know exactly then, right? Like, when Upset goes back home, he does owe it to his teammates. In my opinion, he does owe it to his teammates to communicate with them the gravity of the situation. That's all I mean. And I think that's part of being on a team. And I think that can completely coexist with Upset's idea that he has a right to privacy. Sure, man. Like, I think that's fine. You have a right to a certain level of privacy. And you don't need to share every detail. You don't even need to share any details. But you do owe it to your teammates to communicate with them how serious it is. So that's my opinion. I think everyone is entitled to a different opinion about this because it's like really tricky. It's really tricky. If Yamato knows, doesn't he have a responsibility in Adam and not feeling scorned since he is the coach? That is a great point. That's a great point. Yamato totally does have a bit of a responsibility here. He's in a position of leadership, and the people under him feel extremely frustrated, and they're building resentment up about the situation. He has a responsibility as someone in a position of leadership who knows how serious it is to let those people understand it's really fucking serious, guys. This is not a stupid reason. And again, in both these TwitLongers, I'm trying to put myself in this player's shoes. Everything Adam said could have been a lie. Everything Upset said could have been a lie. I don't fucking know. I'm just kind of pretending as I'm reading these TwitLongers that like, I'm trying to understand their perspective, and I'm playing like as if I'm them. So yeah, we'll never know, right? But I think we have a decent picture about what's going on here. No, I don't think Yamato's a scapegoat whatsoever. Like I'm just saying like some of this stuff could have been avoided. There's no person in the wrong. I think this TwitLonger definitely did do a lot to bring back Upset's credibility. Like I think his response, although it seemed a little bit run on and seemed a little bit circular, he could have done a better job of just organizing these thoughts, proofreading some of them. I know English is not his first language, but I think the overall, the TwitLonger not completely, but it very much preserved Upset's reputation. So like Adam's TwitLonger, I think the main piece of evidence that he really had, and that is like this sort of, now it's really contentious. Like you don't know if this is true or not, but the main piece of evidence that he was using was his last words before he left us, before Worlds, was that he left to join his girlfriend because she felt bad to be alone. I don't know why he would say this and then kind of like lazily just very flippantly, very just oh whatever, maybe I'm wrong, who knows, but because this is like such a major piece of evidence that he has in feeling super scorned. Like the fact that Upset then in his TwitLonger says that's an outright lie is just so weird. And now rereading this again under that lens is just like, but maybe I'm wrong, who knows? I don't really know what he said. I'm just gonna say that he left to join his girlfriend because she felt bad. Like those were his last words, but I don't know. Who knows, guys? I don't know. Who said that? Not me. Was it you guys, Twitch chat? I have no idea. It's just like very strange. Like what? This was supposed to be the reason. This is kind of like the big piece of fucking the meat of like why you would feel like so shitty about all of this. And now the fact that like it's just, he just says no, that was a lie, and we'll never know what the truth is unless maybe a bunch more people come forward or there is more hard proof. Because that's such a serious thing to say, right? Like that's such a really big thing, like a big bomb to drop.